I'm Michelle Tam of Nom Nom Paleo, and today I've got gloves on, and there's normally only two reasons I have gloves on. It's either my kids are impacted or I'm making Paleo Sriracha. And I'm happy to say that my kids are doing fine, so I'm just making Paleo Sriracha. Oh, and look, there are hearts, so thank you everybody who likes these cooking videos. Please tap away at the screen and give me some hearts. And hello. Oh, and another thing that's great is that if you guys do write a comment, please write your name at the end of it so I can actually thank you guys and respond to you personally. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Michelle Tam, and I have a blog called Nom Nom Paleo, and a cookbook and an iPad app.
Charlotte wants to know what's in the blender.
I will tell you. So what I have in here are a bunch of red jalapenos that I have taken the seeds out and the veins, but I'll show you guys how to do that. But I wanted to prep everything so you aren't just watching me slowly, you know, prep my peppers, because that's kind of boring. So basically my big tip, oh yes, I've got a bunch of red jalapenos. So red jalapenos are not super easy to find, but this is what you use to make sriracha. And all it is it's a ripe jalapeno. So normally the jalapenos you see at the store are green, but normally at the end of summer, you will find some red ones at the market. And when you can't find these, Fresno peppers work really well. They're a little bit boxier and they have thinner, thinner flesh, but they're a little bit spicier. Oh, hello, Diane. Oh, and if you guys don't follow Diane Sanfilippo, you guys need to go and follow her because she's got the coolest scopes with lots of tips, and she even let us peek inside her refrigerator today. Yes, you must wear gloves. So that is kind of my big tip for when you make Paleo Sriracha or anything where you're handling a bunch of hot peppers. You totally need gloves because, and don't be dumb and then use the gloves to rub your face. Because the oils in pepper will totally get into your skin, and it's like impossible to get out. If you have a cut on your hand, it'll make it totally hurt. But here, so I have 2 jalapenos here. I'm going to show you how I prep these, and then I'm going to throw it all into the blender along with my other ingredients. And so here you can see this one still has some green on it because it normally is green, but it's ripened to be red. Oh yeah, someone said they learned the hard way. Yeah, I learned the hard way too, so then I have gloves now. So I always just cut off the top of the pepper, and then I throw that in the compost bin. This one is my Messermeister Giotto. My sister gave it to me. I really like it a lot. It's not super expensive. I think it was recommended by Cooks Illustrated. It's not super heavy, which I like, and it feels really good in my hand. So then I cut them in half, lengthwise. And depending on how hot you like things, you can either remove the seeds and the ribs, because that's where all the real heat is, or you can leave it and then just, you know, chop this up. But my kids, well, not my younger son, but my older son likes Paleo Sriracha once in a while. So I take out most of the ribs and the seeds. And when you have gloves, it's really easy for you just to rip them out. I mean, I know in my blog post, I show how you can use a paring knife to do it, but in reality, if I've got gloves on, I just rip them out because that just, see, they're all gone. And there's a little bit of rib, but I actually like things spicy.
A viewer asked if that's a Vitamix.
It is a Vitamix. It's my old trusty Vitamix that I've had for many years. I think I saw it, they had one of those road shows at Costco, and I tried their sample, and I bought a Vitamix because that's when I used to just make smoothies all the time, but now I use it for stuff like this. Okay, so this is 1.5 pounds of, so if you guys want the recipe, just go to my site, nomnompaleo.com, or you can Google Paleo Sriracha, and you will find the recipe and all the measurements. And I even have a Whole30 recipe, because in this one I'm going to use honey, but if you're on Whole30, you can use one medjool date that's been pitted in place of the honey. Is there a reason for the kind of scrap container? That's just what our city gave us to compost. So I just throw it in here, and then I can put it in my green waste container, and the city takes it away. And I love that we can do this because I have so much like kitchen scraps that now my garbage can is pretty empty. So there's 1/2 pounds of red jalapenos. I put in like 8 cloves of garlic that I've smashed and peeled. And so when I say smashed and peeled garlic, I'm going to show you that that's actually what I do. So here's a clove of garlic, and then I have a sturdy ramekin, and I just smash it. And when you smash it, like the skin comes right off, and that's all you do. But you have to make sure that this is sturdy because I have actually broken it before. So you should do that. So there's the garlic and the jalapenos. So a lot of, I think there are some sriracha recipes where they ferment because I think the fermentation boosts umami and it also makes it last longer. But you know, the Fong one, which is the Worcester sriracha sauce that everybody loves, they don't ferment. So I don't think I need to ferment either. And so what I do to boost the umami, and this will be done in about 10-15 minutes as you'll see after I cook it, I add some tomato paste, which adds umami. I'm going to add some honey. I think this is 3 tablespoons. I can't remember exactly, but it's on my site. It's also in my book. It might even be on our app. Is it on our app, Henry?
I think it's on our app.
So it's everywhere.
I'm not looking at it.
Oh, you know what I didn't add? So here's like a 1/3 cup of apple cider vinegar because the reason why people love sriracha is because it's a nice combination of sweet, spicy, savory, and umami. And I forgot fish sauce. Where's our fish sauce, Henry?
A couple of people asked what umami is. Fish sauce is
Okay, so fish sauce is
What is umami?
Is the 5th taste. And on our podcast, actually on our blog, if you look up umami, I have tons and tons of posts on umami, but I even have a podcast devoted to the power of umami. But basically it's the 5th taste. So besides salty, sweet, bitter, sour, oh, that's the 4. So the 5th one is umami. So it's kind of just this really meaty, delicious taste. It's like an indescribable yumminess. And that there's certain ingredients that you can add that will boost that and make your food taste so much better. And that is the difference between an okay dish and an awesome dish. And all you have to do is just add these ingredients. And when you add these ingredients together, the effect is additive. Or no, is that right? It's exponentially better. So it's not additive, it's exponentially better. So let me get, all right. So I can't believe I forgot the fish sauce. I'm pretty sure this is 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. Let me check my recipe. And you would think I make this all the time, but I don't. I actually only make it, 2 tablespoons. I only make it when I can find red jalapenos, which isn't very often.
Yo Gabba Gabby asks, what kind of honey? Specific brand?
No, I don't do a specific brand. I can look and see what's in my cabinet right now, but I think I'd just go for raw, organic. Oh yeah, see, and that's exactly what I have. Like, this is what I have. So it's like a, I don't know if you can see it, but it's called Wetter Spoon Gold, 100% raw organic wild dandelion honey. And I'm sure it's fine. I mean, I'm not a honey connoisseur, so that's cool.
Andrea asks, can you store your sriracha, perhaps frozen?
Yes. In fact, that's what I was going to do. So I know on the site I say the sriracha lasts about 4 days, but that's because I'm married to an attorney, and I think that's like the safe, the safe amount of time I could say. Because everybody has different, you know, food safety practices, so I can't really say how long it'll last. But I can say that from experience, I have kept it in the fridge for a couple of weeks, and it's been fine. You know, there's acid in here, and I don't, you know, double dip or anything. I'm not like squeezing it in my mouth and licking it and sticking it back in the fridge. But I do freeze it, and so this batch, because it makes, I don't remember how much, but a good amount, and you don't need a ton of sriracha. I will freeze some of it, and then I will keep whatever we can use up in about 2 weeks in a little container. Oh, so here I'm gonna add some salt. So I think everything's in here. So there's the red jalapenos, the garlic, tomato paste, honey, apple cider vinegar, salt, fish sauce, and I think now all I have to do is blend it. And you do need kind of a high power blender, but I have heard if you don't have a high power blender, what you can do is you can still do the blending part, but it'll be chunkier, and then you cook it off, which I'll show you in a second, but then you can blend it again once it's been cooked, because then once it's softened, it will, you know, puree beautifully. Alright, so I'm gonna... So basically, you won't be able to hear me, but I'm just gonna...
People are giving you props for the magic wings and magic mushroom powder.
Oh, thank you. That is umami at work, because the magic mushroom powder is basically pulverized porcini mushrooms, which add tons of umami, and some salt and some spices. Alright, so this is what it looks like. If you can see, it's like all kind of liquefied. So I'm going to take this over to the stove, and then I'm going to cook it. What apron are you wearing? Oh, so this is a gift from my sister. It is a Hedley Bennett apron, and I really like them a lot. So we're going to take this over. Henry, can you help me?
Yeah. Let me know if this...
I think it's right. See, now we're pressing over here.
Whoa. All right.
I think you guys can see. Can you guys see? Yes. So now in like a medium saucepan, I cook it. Oh, now I have to take these off. Oh. So the important thing about taking off gloves, which I learned for many years working in a pharmacy, is you just pull them up over, and so then you have no risk of, you know, contaminating yourself. So look, they're inside out, everything's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna heat this up over medium heat, and then I pour this in. Can you guys see? Also, props. Hello, Ira. Oh, yes. Thank you for liking my Thai omelet. I like Thai omelets a lot. I got yelled at, though, for that post. So, if you look on my site and Google Thai omelet, it's kind of an homage to Julia Child. And someone posted an angry post that said, if you really like Julia Child, you would know that she doesn't like cilantro at all. How dare you put cilantro in this recipe? And I'm like, oh, sorry. I guess I didn't know Julia that well. But anyway... So then now I just, you know, I'm going to put it on high heat. I'm going to bring it to a boil, and then I'm going to simmer it for 5 to 10 minutes. Oh, and thank you for the hearts. If you guys like what you're seeing, just tap on the screen, and I will keep doing. Hi, Diana. So my friend Diana, Sustainable Dish. You guys should definitely follow her. She had her first Periscope yesterday, and it was awesome. She took us on a tour of her beautiful organic farm in Massachusetts. And she showed us what everybody in her CSA, her, what is that called? Community-sponsored agriculture, get to pick from their store. And she's so funny. She's always like, I have nothing to show. I'm like, dude, you have so much to show, and it's so awesome. And no one has that available to them. So you should show it, and then people will think it's amazing. So yes, follow us at Sustainable Dish.
Someone says, don't use running water to rinse your peppers or the seeds because it aerosolizes it.
Oh, that's a good idea. So when you are bringing it to a boil, you'll see that the top gets really, really foamy, and you don't have to worry. Like, it'll dissipate.
Gina asks whether our family participates in a CSA.
You know, I was a long-time CSA member. But then I think because I had to cook so much, it was hard to do that. So I was a CSA member for probably 15 years, and now I go to the farmer's market because I have to buy a bunch of one thing. And I think a lot of times for this CSA, it was perfect when I was just cooking for our family, but when I'm recipe testing, I have to look for specific things. But I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great way to support your local farmer. It's the best way to get, the best local organic food. And it doesn't get any fresher than having it be dropped off by your farmer. Oh, Diana says that she thinks CSAs have jumped the shark. Well, I think there's lots of other kind of cool options, at least in the Bay Area. We have, there's a company called Good Eggs where you can order online from a bunch of local farms, and then they deliver to your house. So that's kind of what I like. But
David,
yes.
I missed your question. I saw it flash through, but I didn't read it quickly enough. So if you still have it, please post it again.
So I'm just waiting for this to come to a boil because you just want it to, cook the peppers, take the bite out of the garlic, and you want it to thicken. It's going to take a long time, so if you guys really want to stay on for like 5-10 minutes, I'm happy to answer questions, but otherwise it's just going to be me Oh, I can show you what we're having for dinner, if that's more interesting. I made this earlier. I made some blistered green beans with pork and XO sauce, and I don't have the recipe yet because we are recipe testing. Oh, so look here. So this is already coming to a boil, and once it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn down the heat. Oh, it's hard to bring it up. Can you use green jalapenos to make a green sauce? You can, but you may have to increase the sweetener because the red jalapenos are like a ripe jalapeno, and so it would be similar to, using green peppers instead of red bell peppers, and like green peppers kind of have a distinct flavor and some people don't like it, and the red ones are definitely sweeter, and so that's kind of the same with jalapenos. Sometimes if you can't find red jalapenos, what people will do is they will do mostly green jalapenos and then throw in some red bell peppers, so then it's kind of balanced. And I've heard it's still pretty good. The color is kind of ugly, and so I really do like the red of the red jalapenos, or Fresno. Fresnos are also a really good alternative. I think actually in our book and on our blog, the pictures we have are Fresno peppers because they look so similar. But yeah, they're a little different.
Trickery.
I know, it's trickery. So I'm going to turn this down because it's simmering. And I'll look on the clock. It's 5:31, so about 5-10 minutes, and then that'll be that. So that's actually all there is. I'm just going to cook this and simmer it. I swear the foam dies off. Have you tried Grub Market by chance? No. Ira had sent me a link, and that's who just asked that question. And I saw it, and it looks pretty cool. I just haven't had a chance to try it out. I am all about the delivery. Oh, hello. Lilo just came out. But this is not one of his favorite things. He doesn't like spicy.
Wait, what?
If
You like spicy?
No.
If you leave
Yeah.
seeds in, do you strain it after the cooking?
Not necessarily. If you have a really great blender, you just pulverize it and it's no big deal. If you don't have a great blender, you may want to, but this is kind of thick because it should be kind of the consistency of like a runnier ketchup, so it may be hard to strain out the seeds.
Ollie, we're gonna have dinner soon, so.
I mean, another thing, like if you don't like the seeds but you want it spicy, you can use red jalapenos, and take out the seeds, and then use some super hot peppers
Can you close that back up?
to compensate for the. Do you have any kid-friendly recipes? Yes. I think almost all the recipes on our blog, on Nom Nom Paleo, and our cookbook, Nom Nom Paleo Food for Humans, are kid-friendly. This is kind of
Not.
but this is not, I think, usual of our recipes, because everything I think in our book and on our blog are things that I cook for our family, and we have 2 kids. One is really picky, the one eating the seaweed over there, and then our older son. So they're 7 and 10, and they have to eat what I make them.
Have you watched Chef's Table or Mind of a Chef?
Yes, we just started watching it. We don't have that much time to watch TV anymore, but we saw the first episode with that Massimo guy in Italy, and that was pretty cool.
Somebody asked whether
Doesn't this beat the wait? I like that one. Doesn't this beat the heck out of being a drug dealer? Yeah, I mean, I liked my job when I was a pharmacist, but this is a lot of fun too. But the difference is when I was a pharmacist and I worked nights. When work was done, it was totally done, and I would give my pager to the day shift pharmacist, and I would leave work at work. But with this, I'm like, doing work right now on a Sunday. But this is fun work. I mean, I'm happy to do this.
Somebody asked whether there are any breakdance moves today.
That was a shrug. Like, all right, I think this is pretty close. So I want to bring. I wonder if we can bring the camera. Let me get the. And fresh. Where are all our pot holders?
Let me look.
Okay. So I like these. I have an old UV glove, but I've heard that the new UV gloves are not the same. Oh yeah, I like these UV gloves. So I like these because they're totally heat resistant. Here, I'm gonna show you guys. Can you guys see this? See, I told you the foam is gone. So you gotta cook it till the foam is gone, and then it's staying in slightly.
Dad, can you charge this?
Somebody asked where are the boys?
Well, like Lilo just came out because he wants us to charge his iPad. We have a rule. Hey, Ollie, what is the rule for you guys doing screen time? Do you want to tell people?
We can have screen time on the weekend and Friday.
What time?
5 o'clock.
And what if you guys are bad?
No iPad for a day.
Or longer?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know
want
where
to
the
go to that
charger
farm too. Yes, you guys should definitely go visit. I think you guys are talking about Diana's farm.
Someone asked whether you need to cook the sriracha.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think that it mellows everything out, and like it mellows the bite of the garlic. So yes. Oh, thank you. Someone said your family is so adorable. My notification was late. Don't worry if your notification is late, because you can watch this for 24 hours under replay on Periscope, and you can also, I think you can watch them forever on catch.me/nomnompaleo, which is katch.me/nomnompaleo. But I think when I film in landscape like this, on Catch, they're all sideways. So I'm going to try to put these up also on my YouTube channel, and they will be there forever. So if you go to YouTube, my YouTube is Michelle Tam, or I think you can Google Nom Nom Paleo and find it. And I will put them in my Periscope folder. Okay, I think that's it. It's been about, 7 minutes. And it's nice and thick. It looks like sriracha. It smells like sriracha. And so you guys can see, I'll bring this up to show you the consistency. Oh, I'm going to burn myself. But, so this is like what it looks like. It's bright red.
It's totally dead. How long did you cook it
Oh,
for?
it's good. Like 5 to 10 minutes. Oh, it's good.
Does it feel like sriracha?
Does it feel like sriracha? Like, what do you mean?
I guess mouthfeel, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on your blender, because there's skin in there. So for people who don't have a powerful blender, once you do this cooking part, you can blend it again to get it the pureed consistency. And here, Henry, you want to try it? Because Henry is actually the big sriracha fan.
It's good.
Because I took
Spicy and tart.
out all of the the seeds, it's not as spicy as I like it. So if you want to have it spicier, just keep all the seeds and the spines. And that's it.
You asked whether the consistency stays consistent after cooling.
Yeah, if anything, it thickens in the freezer a little bit. But we actually put it in squeeze bottles, and then we squeeze it, we pretend that it's like Worcester sauce. When you freeze it and you defrost it, sometimes it can get a little bit more watery, but that's not that big of a deal.
And then asked whether it was super spicy.
This one is not super spicy, but I can eat pretty spicy, but this one's not spicy.
No.
Yeah. And it could be that the red jalapenos are really ripe, and I took out all the seeds and the spines. But also, I mean, I know this will be good for my older son because he likes to put this on stuff, and it's not super spicy. So it'll be a good condiment.
Have you ever used habaneros?
I haven't, but that is a good, like if you want it super, super hot, you do a combination of red jalapenos and habaneros or hatch chilies, all those crazy hot peppers.
Somebody, actually a couple people asked what you're going to do with the butternut squash.
Oh, I think I'm gonna, normally I roast it, and then sometimes with my leftover roasted butternut squash, I'll make a soup with it. But normally I roast it. You can make a puree with it. I mean, there's lots of things. I mean, I think I bought it and it lasts forever on the counter, so I kind of just leave it. Peppers can vary by spice. Yep, even in the same plant. That is very true. Because these ones were not super spicy.
Do you ever mix it with mayo?
Yes, I definitely do. Then you get sriracha mayo. So that is probably what I will do with some of this, because this is a lot. Like, I've made probably 2 or 3 cups in here. And you can, you know, we have a ranch dressing in our cookbook that you could mix it with and have a paleo ranch dressing, or paleo sriracha ranch. Yep, sriracha mayo, you just do, grab your mayo and add to taste how much sriracha you want to put in. And that's all that is. I mean, it sounds really fancy, but that's really all it is. Yay for all sustainable farmers. Yep. What does paleo mean? Paleo means, you know, eating real food and knowing where your food comes from, to me at least. How long does it last in the fridge? On my blog post, I said 4 days, but in reality, probably a couple of weeks. And so that is about it. Thank you for your hearts. If you guys like these, just tap on the screen. And I will keep making them if you guys like them. I will post this on YouTube in a couple of days. And that's about it. So I'm going to freeze part of this. I have these silicone molds, which I use for everything. I use these for bone broth. I use these for the sofrito I made the other day. And I will also put this in there. And that is about it. Alrighty. Have a nice Sunday. Bye, y'all.